values. I hope so. I really hope so. And that's why I think that Putin is not adequate, and he's very dangerous for everybody. Dangerous because for him it doesn't matter what it meant to be, I mean, this human life, nothing. And I think he's crazy. I think so. I think he also thinks that he's crazy. No, it's true. He loves to kill. That's very dangerous for everybody.
This is my video update on this Friday afternoon, December the 20th, coming to you from Limassol, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with the Russian retaliation to the ATACMS and Storm Shadow missiles that were launched into Rostov yesterday, pre-2014 Russian territory, crossing the Russian red line for the fifth time, the red line for long-range missile strikes into Russia. And yesterday I said that when talking about this long-range missile strike, it was 4 Storm Shadow missiles. But now we have found out that it was actually 4 Storm Shadow missiles and 6 ATACMS that were launched into the Rostov region. And the target, according to the Russian Ministry of Defense, was the Kamensky plant in Rostov, which is one of the largest chemical enterprises in Russia, established in 1939. And one of the missiles was hit by air defense, but veered off course, and it landed on one of the factory buildings and did cause some damage. From what I understand, there were no casualties in the missile strike from yesterday, but the Russian retaliation happened today, and the Russian military, they hit a military facility in Kiev, an SBU command center, as well as a facility for Patriot missiles, for air defense systems, Patriot missiles, and Neptune missiles. And from what I understand, at least from the reports from the Russian Ministry of Defense, is that there were significant casualties, SBU casualties from this military strike. That's what the Ministry of Defense is reporting. So that's the Russian retaliation from yesterday's crossing of the Russian red line. And let's do an update on what is going on the front lines in the conflict in Ukraine. A quick update. If you want to get more information as to what is happening on the front lines, then obviously I recommend going to Alexander's channel, and he does a good breakdown of everything that's happening on the front lines. So let's start things off with what is going on in Kurakovo. It looks like the final cauldron has been cleared, and the Russians have taken the territory in the final cauldron in the Kurakovo area. And it does appear that within the next maybe week or two, we're going to probably get an announcement from the Russian Ministry of Defense, which says that Kurakovo has been captured by the Russian military. In Pokrovsk, the battle is fast approaching Pokrovsk, the very important, the key logistics and supply hub for the Ukraine military. I was seeing a report from a Ukraine war journalist, war correspondent, who was in Pokrovsk, in the center of Pokrovsk, and she could hear the shelling. It was very close to her position. So it does look like the battle for Pokrovsk will begin very soon. And the important update as to what is happening on the front lines is that in the south, in the Kherson and Zaporozhye region, it looks like something big is brewing. Something very big is about to happen in the south. I don't know if the Russians are going to launch an offensive in the south. I don't know if the Ukraine military is going to do something in the south. There are talks that the Alinsky regime, as a final throw, a last-ditch attempt to improve his military position or his negotiating position, that he will go after the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. Of course, there are other reports saying that the Russian military is about to launch a big offensive in the south, in the Kherson and Zaporozhye region. So keep an eye on what is going on in the south on the front lines. Something is a-brewing. And the blame game for Project Ukraine is beginning in the collective West. And who are they blaming? Well, I'm going to tell you who they're blaming. They are blaming Professor Biden. Bidenopolis. Looks like he's going to get a lot of blame for the Project Ukraine debacle, catastrophe, defeat to Russia, whatever you want to call it. Blame it on Biden. Bloomberg, they put out an article with the title, "Too Little, Too Late. U.S. allies say Biden's strategy cost Ukraine chance of victory." Bloomberg says, U.S. slow-walked key weapons over fears of Russia's nuclear arms. Some officials say the choice gave Alinsky no chance to win. If only the U.S. would have given Alinsky more money and more weapons, then he would have been able to defeat the Putin. If only they gave Alinsky all of the Abrams tanks that they had in their inventory, and all of the Attackams missiles, and all of the F-16s and Tomahawks and nuclear weapons and boots on the ground and $1 trillion. If only they had given Alinsky all of these things, then maybe he would have been able to defeat Russia. But Biden slow-walked it. Biden slow-walked it. Blame it on Biden. Maybe Biden was having some cognitive challenges, and that is why he simply could not ramp things up with Project Ukraine. That is why he did not deliver the entirety of the American Air Force to Alinsky. Maybe it was the cognitive issues that he was battling day in and day out. And that is what the Wall Street Journal is telling us, how the White House functioned with a diminished Biden in charge. Aides kept meetings short and controlled access. Top advisors acted as go-betweens, and public interactions became more scripted. The administration denied Biden has declined. So the Wall Street Journal, in this article, they are admitting that for the 4 years that Biden was president, that he wasn't okay upstairs. Let's just put it that way. And there was a lot of cover-up in the Biden White House amongst Biden's top officials, Austin, Sullivan, Blinken, Biden's White House aides. They all knew that Biden was diminished, but they said nothing and they did nothing except cover it up. Amazing, huh? Not his final year as president, not his final 6 months, not from the debate when he melted down against Trump, but for the entire 4 years, everyone knew that Biden's brain was mishmash, mashed potatoes. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. And yet, they still gave hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars to the Alinsky regime. They still gave hundreds of billions of dollars worth of weapons to Alinsky. And they still pushed us to the point of World War III. Actually, Biden is still president. He is still escalating and pushing us to World War III, even though he is diminished, according to the Wall Street Journal. A diminished Biden is still running the United States of America. And in the next few days, a diminished Biden is going to announce a final big arms package to Ukraine. But he's diminished. He is diminished. And his aides have been covering up for him, and they continue to cover up for him. The first paragraph of the Wall Street Journal article says, during the 2020 presidential primary, Dr. Jill Biden, campaigned so extensively across Iowa that she held events in more counties than her husband, a fact her press secretary at the time, Michael LaRosa, touted to a local reporter. Even when he was campaigning in 2020, they knew that Biden was diminished. But he was as sharp as a tack. Isn't that what Morning Joe told us? He's as sharp as a tack. That was 6 months ago when Morning Joe told us that. He was sharp as a tack, as sharp as a tack. Further down in the article from the Wall Street Journal, it says, if the president was having an off day, meetings could be scrapped altogether. On one occasion, in the spring of 2021, a national security official explained to another aide why a meeting needed to be rescheduled. He has good days and bad days, and today was a bad day, so we're going to address this tomorrow, the former aide recalled the official saying. Yeah, I think you can blame Project Ukraine on Biden. Why not? Will he even know that he's being blamed for it? Probably not. He won't even know it. So Bloomberg, they have an article with the title, EU Economy Chief Open to Confiscating Frozen Russian Assets. Those 300 billion in Russian frozen assets. I believe the EU Economy Chief is from the Baltics. From Latvia, I want to say. He is talking about confiscating the Russian assets. That's how you know things are coming to an end. When they're looking at that 300 billion and they're saying, we better get our hands on that 300 billion before the whole thing comes crashing down. But the European Council yesterday, they took a decision saying that the Russian frozen assets will remain frozen. This is what they said. Will remain frozen until the war ends and reparations are paid to Ukraine by Russia. Until the war ends. What if they decide that the war has ended? What if Trump comes into the White House and says the war for us is over? Does that mean that the European Union can then take those assets? They do say until reparations are paid, until the war ends and reparations are paid. So that's the decision that the European Council took. But the EU economy chief, he is saying, get those assets, damn it, get those $300 billion in Russian frozen assets, get them now. We need that money. So that's what Bloomberg is reporting. Ursula and Blinken, they're starting to disclose the amount of money that was dished out to the Alinsky regime. Ursula at the EU summit said that the European Union has spent, because they're still spending, $130 billion for Project Ukraine aid. To date, they have given $130 billion to Project Ukraine. And Blinken, he was speaking at some think tank event, and he said that the United States has given $100 billion to Ukraine, and U.S. allies, the collective West outside of the United States, has given $150 billion to Ukraine, highlighting how one country, the United States, has almost given what all of the allies have given to Project Ukraine put together. Ursula, in her statement, She noted that the EU has given, I believe she said, 47% of military aid to Ukraine. From the total 100% that was given to Ukraine, the EU accounted for 47%, and the United States accounted for only 40%. So this shows that the EU supports Project Ukraine more than the US, while Blinken is saying that the US supports Project Ukraine more than the entirety of the remaining collective West countries. They're having a pissing contest as to a pissing contest. They're having a pissing contest as to who supported Ukraine more, who threw away more money to Project Ukraine, who lost money in the Project Ukraine grift more. Was it the U.S. or was it the EU? And you know it's a lot more than 130 billion from the EU and 100 billion from the United States. Come on, Blinken. Come on, Ursula. Get out of here with that 100 billion to Ukraine. Multiply that by 10x. Multiply that by Annalena 360x, and you're going to get to the real amount of money that has been lost, grifted in Project Ukraine. Politico has an article. Where is it here? They have an article about the European Union and Ursula von der Leyen. Here we go. Ursula staring into the storms of the sea. Picture Ursula standing right there, but it's very stormy. A storm is coming, and Ursula's standing right there. And Politico's title is Von der Leyen's mission: Stop Europe's slow agony of decline. The European Commission president has pledged to boost the EU's ability to compete with the US and China. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with trying to compete with the US and China, Ursula. They're depending on Ursula von der Leyen. The European Union is depending on Ursula to stop the Europe's slow decline. That's the person that you're depending on? Oh, good luck with that, man. Europe's in trouble. Europe is in big trouble if Ursula's your go-to in order to prevent the decline of Europe. Europe's industry is in tatters. Tatters, I tell you. Where's that speech from, Ursula? Where's that speech? The EU is taking chips from washing machines and from dishwashers, and they are putting it in their tanks and their airplanes. The EU's economy is in tatters. Tatters, I tell you. It's a wonderful life if you are a cat in Limassol. That's right. That's right, Mr. Cat. It's a wonderful life. The beach cats of Limassol. They're awesome, huh? And they're friendly, too. They love people. So, yeah, von der Leyen, she's going to save Europe's slow decline. Agony. It's an agony decline. It's a slow agony of decline, according to Politico, as she stares into the stormy seas. Von der Leyen. So Alinsky's losing his mind. He is absolutely losing his mind. This is what happens if you're about to get billions and billions of dollars pulled away from you. if you're used to billions and billions of dollars coming into your coffers every week, and Trump is threatening pulling that money away from you, you lose your mind. Yeah. If he was just getting like $100 a week, what's up? A lot of cats coming to the beach today. Go ahead. Go to the beach. Go to the water. Enjoy the day. Yeah. If you have a couple of $100 coming to you every week and Trump threatens taking it away from you, it's no big deal, right? I'm not saying Trump's going to stop the funding for Ukraine. I think he is slowly going to taper it off. But Still, if that money is going to be taken away from you, or the threat of losing that money, if it's $100 every week or so, you don't really care. You can go on with your life. But if it's billions and billions of dollars, yeah, you lose your freaking mind. That's what's happening to Alinsky right now. He is losing his mind, man. So yesterday, as he was speaking to the EU kleptocrats at the summit meeting, he called Putin crazy. Actually, when you look at the video, you can tell that Alinsky really is a comedian, an actor. He was putting on a show. It was obvious he was putting on a freaking show. He was in character. Oh, look. The one cat is about to pounce on that other cat. You guys see it? Something's about to go down between those two cats. Yeah, he's in character, Alinsky. He was speaking to the audience, to the crowd, which was full of the EU elite, the EU elite, the political kleptocrats. He was speaking to them and he was putting on a show. He was putting on a freaking show. And they were laughing. They were entertained. These people were entertained at Europe's agonizing, slow decline. And they're entertained by it. Oh, boy. So, yeah, he called Putin crazy. He said Trump is a strong man. And Ukraine needs Trump. They need Trump. We need Trump. He's a very strong man. He does push-ups and pull-ups. He got the nice biceps, that Trump. He's strong, man. Putin, he's crazy. He's crazy. He was projecting a lot. When he was talking about Putin, it was all projection. All of it was projection. Everything that he was saying about Putin was basically describing himself, the collective West. I mean, it was obvious. Maybe Bojo, Boris Johnson, I don't know. It was Biden, Bidenopolis, Blinken. He was describing the collective West, what he was saying about Putin. But he's having a meltdown. The other day he called, I said this yesterday, he called Orban an annoying messenger. He's really lashing out at Orban. He even posted on X. This is how crazy Alinsky's become. He actually posted on X, or he got his staff to post on X that Putin is a dumbass. That's what he posted on X. Let me find the post. So it's Putin talking about the Orezhnik missile challenge, right? He's trolling Alinsky. Putin is trolling Alinsky. It's obvious, man. He's goading you. He's trolling you. Don't take the bait. Don't do it, man. What do they say? Don't feed the troll. He's trolling you, bro. But Alinsky fell for it, man. He fell for it. And he posted on X, or his social media team posted, people are dying and he thinks it's interesting. ... Dumbass. He said, I think Putin is crazy. I think he thinks he is crazy. Putin loves to kill. This is very dangerous for everybody. He also said only NATO is a security guarantee for Ukraine. He is saying more and more often now that Ukraine must get into NATO. He's stopped beating around the bush and saying, well, we want a security guarantee from this country and that country, and let's sign security guarantees. Remember that? When Ukraine was signing security guarantees with every country in the collective West, and this was going to be the big game changer. We have a security guarantee with Poland. We have a security guarantee with the UK and with France and Latvia and Estonia and the US, and this was a big game changer. You would have Donald Tusk sitting next to Tusk. Interesting name, Donald Tusk, sitting next to Alinsky, and they would be signing the security guarantee, and it was a nice book that they would sign, and then they would shake hands, and everyone was clapping. Yeah, we got a security guarantee with Poland. And then he'd be sitting with Kaja Kallas, and they'd be signing a security guarantee. Or Bidenopolis, he was sitting next to Bidenopolis, signing the security guarantee, and this was a big game changer. Just forget about all of that now. Forget about all of that. It's all meaningless. I believe when he signed the security guarantee with Bidenopolis, I could be wrong about this, but I remember when he was in the U.S. and he was signing something with Biden, and Biden called Alinsky he called him Vice President Putin or something like that, or President Putin. He also called, what did he say about Kamala Harris? Did he say Kamala Harris was the president, or Alinsky's the vice president of the United States, or Putin's the vice president of the United States? It was one of Biden's classic, like all-time classic mess-ups. Classic gaffe from Biden. But he mentioned Putin. He said President Putin. I remember that event. That happened over the summer. I think they were signing a security guarantee between Ukraine and the U.S. You guys know in the comments down below what was said. It was funny. It was one of my clown worlds. So it was one of my main topics I was talking about. Yeah, security guarantees, meaningless. All those bilateral security guarantees, garbage, toilet paper. He has to get into NATO. And he's just coming out and saying it now. We must get into NATO. We don't care. It's NATO or nothing. It's NATO or bust. It's a bumper sticker on Alinsky's car. Alinsky's car has a bumper sticker, NATO or bust. Yeah, he's just saying it now. He's not going to get it. But he's saying it. So Putin was asked about the Orezhnik challenge and after the Q&A event. And Putin said that the reporter asked Putin, why Kiev? And Putin said he just thought of Kiev because that's where the collective West has all of their serious air defense systems. So when he said choose a location in Kiev, as he was trolling Alinsky and the collective West about the Orezhnik, and Putin's getting a lot of criticism from the collective West media about the comment with the Orezhnik. They're saying Putin is crazy, he's insane, all of these things. But he said that when he said a location in Kiev, he picked Kiev, a location. He just said that because all of the collective West's air defenses and all their weapons are there. So Putin said, pick a different location. Said, I don't care. He said, pick a different location and move all of your air defense systems to whatever location you want. And let's have the missile duel. The media is calling it a missile duel. That statement got a lot of attention, which was the point of making that statement. It does bring a lot of attention to the Orezhnik because the collective West media, they haven't been really talking much about the Orezhnik and its capabilities. So this brought a lot of attention to the Orezhnik. I imagine a lot of people are Googling, DuckDuckGoing or whatever, Orezhnik missile. And they're being educated on the power of the Orezhnik. So yeah, Alinsky's losing his mind. Oh, and this is the best part. This should be my clown world. But Alinsky said during his stand-up routine in front of the EU elite, he said that he can't provide any evidence of North Korean troops in Kursk because the Russian military is burning off their faces. That's what he said.
We don't see more than 12,000. If there are more to that added to that amount, we don't know. We will see. As to the prisoners, we don't know. We don't have, but we have video. We have pictures of actually casualties of the dead North Koreans. They are found almost all of them with Russian IDs, with the documents of Russian Federation. We have all that fixed already and documented, and so that they are not identified. We also have videos and photos that the Russians are actually burning their faces. And
he wants us to believe, Alinsky wants us to believe that the North Korean casualties, the KIAs, that he says North Korea is suffering, and he says they're suffering hundreds, if not thousands, right? Before Ukraine can get these North Korean troops or film these North Korean troops or whatever, I don't know, whatever, get the drone over them to film them, I don't know, and provide the evidence that these are indeed North Korean troops in Kursk. Before Ukraine can get this evidence, Alinsky's telling us what the Russian military does is that they burn their faces. And that's why he can't provide the evidence. That's it. That's why he can't provide the evidence, everybody. This must have been some sort of horror movie, right? He lifted this from some movie. 100%. He saw this in some movie, and he lifted it and he put it in the script. Or the script writers in DC, Hollywood, London, They lifted this burning of faces thing from some horror movie and they put it in his routine yesterday. No doubt about it. I just don't know the movie that this came from. I don't know the movie that this came from. This idea of burning faces. I think of Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, the final scene when they open up the Ark, and the one Nazi guy, all three of them actually, their faces melt. Remember that scene? That was like the final scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Anyway, yeah, that's why he can't provide any evidence. So before we get to a clown world, Elon Musk appears to be throwing his support behind the AfD. We're going to have elections in Germany very soon. And Elon Musk, he posted on X a response to a video, actually, from, what's her name, Naomi Sept. I believe that's how you pronounce Naomi's name. My apologies if I'm not pronouncing her last name correctly, but she put up a video talking about the elections, about BlackRock Mertz, the CDU, and the title says Chancellor Frontrunner slams Musk and Milei. So she talks about Mertz and BlackRock Mertz and how he's going after Musk and Milei. And it's a good video, actually. It's a good video. And Musk replied to this video saying only the AfD can save Germany. Man, people are freaking out. The German political class outside AfD, they are freaking out, man, from this post from Musk. He's putting his support behind AfD. That's how it looks. Let's do some clown worlds. We can wrap this video up. So this is an article from The Economist, posted yesterday. Not posted 2 years ago, not posted 10 years ago, not posted a year ago. This is an article from The Economist. It has the title, Ukraine is winning the economic war against Russia. Whether that lasts depends on its ability to overcome acute shortages of power, men, and money. I believe this was actually posted on December 18th, 2 days ago. Yeah. Ukraine, a better economy than Russia. So was it the IMF? I believe it was the IMF or the World Bank. They put out statistics a few months ago, and they said that Russia has the fourth, if you go by purchasing power, by PPP, Russia has the fourth largest economy in the world, right? That was the World Bank. It was either the World Bank or the IMF. Number one, I believe, was the United States or China. China, US, 1 and 2. India, and then Russia. Russia leapfrogged Germany, right? Ahead of the UK, ahead of all the countries from the collective West, all the big G7 economies, right? Russia was number 4. So does that mean that Ukraine has a bigger economy than the UK, than France, than Germany? Yeah. Ukraine's economy, according to The Economist, is bigger than any European Union economy. Wow. Absolutely let Ukraine into the EU. Not only let Ukraine into the EU, if you go by The Economist's reporting, but maybe Ukraine can help Ursula stop the agonizing decline. That's the plan. That's the plan. Yeah, let Ukraine into the European Union because it has such a huge economy. Ukraine can be the driver of growth for the entirety of the EU. It no longer falls on the shoulders of Germany. There you have it. Problem solved. Thank you, Economist. And we have, this one's great, from the Financial Times. Russian election meddling, nearly impossible to prove, says Romanian President. Klaus Iohannis urges close coordination among EU leaders to combat foreign interference after Bucharest annulled vote. EU countries are at risk of Russian election meddling that can be nearly impossible to prove, Romania's president has warned weeks after Bucharest canceled its presidential vote over alleged foreign interference. Got that, everyone? Everyone in Romania going through this canceled election drama? Canceled election crime is what I would call it, but anyway. Yeah, it's impossible to prove, almost impossible to prove, according to Klaus, not Klaus Schwab, Klaus Johannes. Impossible to prove, nearly impossible to prove, sorry, that's his quote, according to the Financial Times. We know there's Russian election meddling. We know that Chinese TikTok was meddled by Russia, if that's even a word, was interfered with by Russia. We know it, but it's impossible to prove. It's impossible to prove. We're telling you, Russian interference, but it's nearly impossible to prove. Right? Clown world, everyone. Freaking clown world. It's great if you're the collective West, right? If you're the collective West and you want to shut down elections, just blame it on Russia. Proof? We can't prove it. That's proof. That's nearly impossible. Why should we prove it when it's nearly impossible? We're telling you, the election needs to be canceled because of Russian interference. Don't ask us for proof. That's impossible, man. But we know it's happening. We know it's happening. We just can't prove it. Because it's impossible. That's the video, everybody. The Duran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and X. Go to the Duran shop. Pick up some merch, like the t-shirt that I'm wearing today with the flag of Hungary. You can pick up the bomber jacket that I'm wearing as well with the Duran logo. Oh, look at that. The link to the Duran shop is in the description box down below. Pick up a gift certificate as well for the holidays, for Christmas. That's also on the Duran shop. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. All right. Take care.